bit. I want to take you through Cengage Learning. It's one of the things that will transcend everybody in this room, and it will actually transcend everybody in the building, right? At some point in your life, you learned or were taught something by someone. And unfortunately, that really hasn't changed in a long time. And it's overdue for a change, and it's the primary reason why I joined Cengage Learning, because this was something I was passionate about, and it's kind of the last frontier for technology. It's one of those things that you can actually do something about and make it a whole lot better than it is. So let me give you the facts and figures. So Cengage Learning is a company about $1.5 billion. 5,000 employees, 125 countries. We do business around the world. The key part of what we've got is lots and lots of data. So we've got a lifetime of information for every library on the planet. Every research facility in the world uses our data and information. With that, we have some 600 software applications, and if you or your children have ever used any of our materials, you may see it under a different name. So K through 12 would be National Geographic. If you went to college in the last 20 years, you probably used one of our textbooks. We've taken all of those things and tried to pull them together to improve the learning experience. So these are the areas that we're involved in, and again, it impacts everybody. So whether you were a student recently, whether you're a student now, whether your partner or significant other is, this is real to you in the sense that it's a new time to change the way people learn. This is the problem that I'll dig into from a higher education perspective in this country. Half the people that start don't finish. And if you don't think that's a problem, I would wonder why. Because if any one of you actually started something and literally 50% of you decided to quit, isn't that a problem worth solving? And for me, as someone who spent 30 years in technology companies, this was a problem worth solving. When you look at the reasons why, there's a bunch of them. Sometimes people just don't have the intestinal fortitude to finish. But sometimes it's not that. And as an executive at Cengage, I had the opportunity to go visit some of our universities. And of course, here in the Northeast or in the West Coast, you have some of the best schools in the world, but you also have affluent communities. You have people who don't really worry much about the price of books. They're more worried about the price of the tuition. But if you get to the middle of this country, and if you get to places in the South and other parts of this world, the idea of tuition and books are sometimes the same price. So my first tour, after joining the company, about 90 days in, I went down to Miami-Dade Community College. And they service about 40,000 students. And I sat in a classroom, and I met students, and I met a young lady and her friend. She was a single mom, and they were talking about next semester and how they could either take one class and pay for one of our books or two classes and share the book. And then they proceeded to ask me why we would possibly charge $300 for a book. And as a new employee to a company that joined it on the mission of making things better, I did not have a good answer for why we would charge $300 for a textbook. Because quite frankly, it didn't make any sense to me at all. And it was a humbling moment for me, but when I got back to the office, it was one of the things that I started to dig into was to start to really understand why, what are the real reasons, and how do people make up for this delta for these $300 books. And this is the one that just killed me, was that when you were thinking that some of these people actually didn't eat to pay for an overpriced textbook. Let me tell you, that flight home, if it wasn't a kick in the stomach for anybody, it sure as hell was for me. It let me understand that what I joined this company to do was actually worthwhile. And as a father of four, I was fortunate enough not to have to worry about paying for their college books, but it doesn't mean that there are tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of other families who can't. So we started looking at this problem from two dimensions. One is, can we as a company improve this situation? And like everybody else, can we still have a profitable business? Can we still make money and improve this situation? So we took all of the things we had, all of our software applications, everything that's buried beneath Blackboard that everybody thinks is some other learning management system. We took all of that. We took 20,000 of our books, and we put it into a product called Cengage Unlimited. And we figured out through a ton of data and analysis that for $119 a semester, we could still be a profitable business and we could help solve this problem. We could make a difference. And then we said that if you really felt like you needed a textbook that you could hold on to, put your hands on, because some people do for some subjects, for $7.95, we'll ship you any book that we have. At the end of the semester, ship it back to us. We launched that in August of last year. By February, we had 1 million subscribers. By the time we finished doing the math, on average, we saved $60 per million of those subscribers, saving $60 million in what people were actually spending on our products. So yes, there were cases where we actually said, don't buy the $300 book, buy the $119 subscription. And of course, like anybody logically is going to realize, we're going to make it up in volume. We don't believe that 1 million students need this. We believe tens of millions of students need this. But that's a sacrifice we're willing to make now to make a difference in a situation that doesn't make any sense. If people don't want to finish their education, if they don't want to learn, make it a different reason than affordability. This went really well. And in an industry that's ripe for technology transformation, we led the way. We're transforming an industry, and we're leveraging technology, as one might imagine, to do that. But others have taken notice. So our friends at McGraw-Hill and us are going to merge later this year if the Department of Justice makes it okay for us to do that, because they get a say. But what this highlights is that, for me at least, the opportunity to be in an industry where you're truly transforming something, you're doing some really neat stuff with technology, and you're actually making a difference in people's lives, who doesn't want to sign up for that? So we'll find out later this year if this will happen or not. We believe that by putting these companies together, we'll have a more compelling offer for students, not just here in this country, but throughout the world. And it's our intention to provide that in a subscription-based model. So with this in mind, I want to end on this point for you, for your families, for your friends, is that we're doing this because we want to make learning unstoppable for all learners, for all people. I don't care if this is your niece or nephew, your child, a kindergarten, high school, middle school, college student. We want to make this easy and affordable for everyone. There isn't a person in this building that didn't go through education in some way, shape, or form. Whether they had a good experience or bad experience, don't know. But I know that we could provide a better experience at a better price. And that's what we're focused on doing at Cengage.